as employees to be representative of, employee interests. So I believe one of them is an ambulatory clinic director in one of our schools of dentistry.
Mm-hmm.
And then we tend to have also, and I don't recall her title because they've recently changed it, but we have presence from the finance team, which is similar to either CFO or assistant CFO.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Thanks for explaining that more. Do you offer non-medical degrees, or is it all
We do.
medical? You do. Okay.
Yes, they're all what we would consider to be healthcare relevant.
Okay.
But we have degrees, besides the medical school. Some of them are a little more intuitive as being healthcare related, like dentistry and nursing.
Mm-hmm.
But we also matriculate students with healthcare administration, biochemistry, pharmacology, toxicology, some of the basic science areas.
Okay.
And then we have students in our School of Population Health matriculating in things like statistics and population health and preventive health and wellness.
Right. I see why you say it's healthcare relevant. Everything's sort of...
Right. It's all healthcare relevant. Public policy is one of our newer areas for matriculation. And then our health-related degrees are things like the allied health areas, physical therapy, occupational therapy,
Mm-hmm.
Some laboratory technical kinds of things like radiology technician and histotechnician work in the lab. So it is healthcare relevant.
Sure. So no business, marketing, accounting, stuff like that. Everything is okay. Got it. Okay. So when we're talking, we were talking about decision making for benefits and things like that, and I want to kind of understand how your process goes as far as contracts that are awarded to carriers. Do you tend to go through a formal bid process or an informal, take a look at your benefits every year, or do you do it less than that?
We tend to use a schedule that we do a review every year, and the review is, the contracts in place. Do we see any issues with, the vendor, the performance? The contracts have measurables in them as far as, the performance we expect from the vendor in terms of everything from time to administer and close claims. The grading of the company and their, financial stability, and then just experience factors from our employees about customer service metrics. If there are within the context of a contract that's a multi-year contract, if there are issues, then, we would look at that and examine it. But for the life of a contract, that would be really the only driver of a change would be if there were, performance measurables that weren't being met. When it is time, though, within the time limits of a contract, if we have a contract that, let's say, was a supplemental plan for 3 years and we're up for, the 3-year either renewal or going forward, we are not mandated to go through a formal RFP process.
Okay.
But we have used and applied the same processes and rules to do formal requests for information, so that we're showing the same due diligence, even though it's not required.
Got it.
So, and we also that's also an effort just to show good faith that we are, as a committee, making decisions and recommendations that are based on, objective criteria of what's, we believe would be best offerings for the employees, and not anything that could be a conflict of interest because of a, vendor relationship that we have or something of that sort.
Sure. So for